welcome back to our series of videos, Understanding CBET. Now, previous video, we started looking at our third principle on relevant learning activities and resources. So we finished that part, and I started looking at assessments and feedback. And in our today's video, we want to talk about our fourth principle, and that is on assessment of learning outcomes. But before we continue, I want to thank you all for those who have subscribed and supporting the channel. Our challenge is still there to reach 200 subscribers. So please, let's continue to support the channel through sharing, commenting, and sharing the videos. So let's dive into our today's session so that we're able to discuss assessment of learning outcomes. We talked about learning outcomes, and today we want to see how you're able now to assess different components of the learning outcome. So let's introduce what CBET is all about, and that is competency. Just to remind ourselves that competency is the ability to perform tasks or do work according to set standards. And we looked at that in our development of occupational standards. And we say that those are industry documents that outlines the set standard for performing a particular task. And that's what we call competency. And therefore, the only way to determine if a learner is competent or not is through conducting assessment and evaluation. And we'll be looking at that in depth. What is assessment and how do we evaluate learning outcomes? So it's good at this point to understand that the only way to measure competency is through conducting different assessments during CBET sessions. And therefore, at this point, it's good to define what an assessment is. An assessment is the process of gathering evidence to determine whether a trainee has demonstrated the required competencies for a particular qualification or job role. So assessment is a process, and we all understand what a process is. So when you're talking about a process, is a series of steps or actions that are taken in order to achieve a particular result or goal. So, and that's the basis of assessment, because you want to assess our learning outcome, and that is our goal. So when you talk about gathering evidence, and you understand evidence, any information that demonstrates that a trainee has the skills, knowledge, and attitude that are required for a particular unit of competency. So how are you able to identify those evidence? So we'll be looking at evidence and how you're able to collect using different method of assessment. So at this point, it's good to understand that assessment is a process of gathering evidence, and that will only tell us if a trainee is competent or not competent for a particular job or title. That understood, let's focus on what we call competency-based assessments. And you have said that we need to assess competency. And you're saying that competency are designed, or CBET's assessment are designed rather, to be authentic and relevant to the workplace. So what does this mean, authentic and assessment being relevant? So this means that CBET assessment are designed to assess the skills and knowledge, and of course attitude that trainees need to be successful in their jobs. So CBA or competency-based assessments are typically based on real-world tasks and scenarios. So when you're talking about CBET, it's about real work situation. So if you're able to assess that, then we are good to go. And you understand that assessment based on competency can be done at any point during a training program. So you can do your assessment in during sessions, off the sessions, during industrial attachments, and they can be used to inform both the trainees and trainer about their trainee progress. And that's why I said assessment is a process. So during the coursework or during the course period, assessment can be done at any point. And that's what we talk about competency-based assessment. So what are the purpose of assessment? One is to provide feedback to learners. When you're talking about feedback is any information that is given to a trainee about their performance or behavior. So feedback can be positive or it can be constructive. Uh, Another purpose is to support learners' success, and that's the essence of CBET. We want to support our learners through their course, and that means that we're able to provide them with the necessary resources and support that they need to achieve their learning goals. So you can use different methodologies here. One, you could provide clear and concise instructions during CBET sessions. We can offer opportunities for practice and, of course, giving feedbacks. You can as well create a positive and supporting uh, learning environment. So you can use different methodology of supporting our learners so that they're able to achieve their training goal. Another purpose of assessment is to measure effectiveness of our training method, especially as trainers. So you can measure your training methodology that you plan in your session plans and in your learning plans so that you're able to ensure that the training method that we are using are effective. So what does this mean? Effectiveness of training method. It means determining how well a training program achieves its learning objectives. So when you are talking about our session plan or learning plan, we say that our main goal is to achieve uh, our learning outcomes that we set for each session topic. And what are these ways that you can use to measure effectiveness of your training method? One, you could do pre and post assessments. Uh, you can as well solicit for trainee feedback after your sessions. And of course, there are very method you can do. You can use Google Form for that. Uh, on a higher level, you can do what we call return on investment analysis. So sometimes called cost benefit analysis of your training methods, especially on financial grounds. So those are the ways of measuring effectiveness of training methods. Another purpose is to prepare learners for employment. And here we are saying that you need to help your learners uh, prepare for the employment through, of course, identifying It will help them identify their strength and weaknesses. So when he conducts assessment, they're able to know where is the area of strength and where is their area of weakness. As well, provide learners with opportunity to practice, and they should be able to demonstrate their skills. So assessment will provide that so that they're able to be prepared for employment. And overall, this is help them build confidence and to develop the necessary skills that they need to be successful in their workplace. So you can see the purpose of assessment. And the last is should be able to measure the learner's knowledge and skill. And here you're talking about learners will be required to demonstrate what they have learned. Of course, after every session, a learner should be able now to demonstrate what they have learned, what skills have they gained, and you can only do that through assessment. So you can use different method of assessment. Probably could be oral questioning, could be written, could be performance measurements, or portfolios assessment. So basically, these are purpose of why we conduct assessment. And just to summarize it, so by having trainee skill assessed, individual trainees will be able to identify their work strength and weakness. They'll able to establish their training needs, of course, through gaps that you're going to identify during assessment. And that will help them plan their career pathways and gain recognized qualifications. Remember, we talked about recognition of our courses during our development of OS, that all courses need to be demand driven, and that comes with recognition. So again, individuals will be able to now identify their skills and will officially document them in terms of certification, and that will help them plan for further trainings. So this is a summary of why we need to assess the competencies that you're training on. Taking me to a point, what are these principles of competency-based assessment? One is based on reliability, and here are talking about degree of consistency and accuracy. Okay. Another one is flexibility, and here we are focusing on providing an opportunity for the learners to negotiate certain aspects of assessment. And that means, for example, timing. And you're going to see when we'll be developing candidate tools, one of the requirement is we need to develop assessment plan. So you need to sit down with your learners and plan well. And that means we need to be flexible. Another principle of CBA is about fairness. And fairness, we are saying that assessment does not disadvantage a particular candidate or group of candidates. So we want to be fair. And the last bit is validity. And here we are looking at assessment outcomes need to be supported by evidence. So if you're saying somebody is competent, then which evidence did you collect? Are they valid? Are they sufficient? So you're going to look at rules of evidence. So it's very important to understand those principles: reliability, flexibility, fairness, and validity. So what are these type of competency-based assessment? One, we have it takes different forms. One, you can conduct diagnostic assessments, and this means um, you want to discover trainee strength and weakness to identify a training program for him or her, or to assign him to a specific group. So pre-assessment usually, if you want to understand a learner's weaknesses and strength. Another aspect or type of CBA is formative, sometimes called assessment for learning. And CBET approach advocates more. We conduct a lot of formative assessments, and it will check on the trainees' progress and provide feedback on areas that need more learning. So during a session, you need to do a lot of formatives and assessments during those active learning sessions. So formative is an ongoing assessment, and this is what CBET advocates for. The other one is summative assessment, and usually these are assessments that are conducted at predetermined points in the learning process, sometimes called the end of term examination or end of module examination. Uh, the other one is RPL or recognition of prior learning, and we'll be unpacking this component in our future videos. What is an RPL? And you're able to use that to assess competency. So here you want to is a process that recognizes a learner's current competencies, and you're going to unpack that aspect. And the other one is authentic assessment. And again, this is an area we want to unpack what is authentic assessments. And here you're saying that learners are asked to perform real world tasks. And that's what competence is all about. Are they able to perform real world tasks? And you realize these tasks have already been identified in occupational standards. That's what the industry is saying. This is what you need to train on these tasks. And therefore, it becomes an authentic to conduct assessment so that they're able now to understand how those tasks are being performed. So you're able to measure competency at that level. So these are different types of competency-based assessment. Uh, Taking me to philosophy or fundamentals of competency-based assessment. What's it all about? One is based on what we call criterion reference. So you're saying that assessment is against industry standards or set of criteria to establish competency. And therefore, our OS, occupational standards, is going to define that criteria. So it is based on certain standards, and you need to identify those standards in occupational standards. Another aspect of philosophy is CBA is about evidence based. So if you're saying a candidate or a trainee is competent, is there any evidence to support that? So it's a process that matches evidence of competency against a standard. So anytime you're going to measure or assess competency, it should be based on particular standards. And you need to collect evidence about that competency. And the last bit is CBA is about participatory. And that means you need to involve your candidates in the process of assessment. And you're going to see when you're developing candidate tools. And one of them I said is assessment plan. So you need to involve your candidate, start from the beginning. So basically, these are philosophies of competency-based assessment based on criteria, evidence-based, and it should be candidate participation. So, what are the components about CBA or components of competency based assessment? Number one is standards, and we cannot overemphasize about standards because these have already been identified in our occupational standards. So, standards are the benchmark of performance. So, they're saying a candidate is competent on which standards or benchmark of performance. Number two uh, is evidence collection. Again, you're seeing issues of evidence. So you need to establish methods of collection of this evidence. Number three is a framework for comparison. So we are saying that comparison of evidence should be against standards that has been set or benchmark of performance, so that you're able to establish what we call performance level of that candidate. The only way you can do this is through internal and external verification. So you're going to look at quality assurance on how to conduct assessments. Mm, the other one is outcomes. And our major aim of conducting assessment is just to see if our learning outcome has been achieved. So at one point, assessment should be clear and transparent in the sense that you're able to say a candidate is either competent or not competent. And the last bit is quality assurance. And here we'll be looking at is about validity and reliability and fairness of our assessments. So basically, those are the components of uh, competency-based assessment. So in our next video, we'll start to unpack what are the method of assessment, and then we'll start now looking at different tools that we need to develop one by one. So again, thank you for your support. Uh, let's share, let's comment, let's share these videos, let's subscribe so that we're able to meet our target. Thank you.